Even if I pry on that, that's not going anywhere. That's super solid. Versus this. See the massive difference there. Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another Turbo Tyler video. We're doing another mod to the Focus today. This time we're going to be doing a handling mod, and this is what we're going to be installing. So this is a Mountune dog bone mount. Mountune actually call this a roll restrictor. So what this does is it bolts to the gearbox on this side and your subframe on this side, and it stops back and forth movement of the engine stuff. So mainly when you launch the car and every time you change gear, your engine will kind of rock back and forth, and this is a stiffer polyurethane bushing than the factory one. The factory one's obviously like done 125,000 Ks now, so it's had a little bit of wear, whereas this one is new. So we're going to be installing it on the car. So first things first, we've got to jack the car up, and we'll do that right now. So now the car's up in the air, we can just get under, and the first job is we need to remove this under tray right here. So my car, I've mounted it a little bit differently, but I've just got some screws here and a few at the back, but it's a pretty simple job to get it off, so we'll go ahead and do that first. And then we can just pull this piece off now the fasteners are out. And just get this to one side. So the reason we took that off was to give us access to where the dog bone mounts are, or torque mount, whatever you decide to call it. So we've got the main one here, which is what the 15mm bolt that we're moving, and the other one is this one here, which I believe is a 19mm, or at least it's 19 on the other one. I've got my pry bars with me to be able to create some space. I might have to take these bolts off as well, but I'm just going to wait for the rain to stop because it's starting to rain quite heavy now. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this bolt here, this 15mm one. Let's see if we can. There we go. Not removing this all the way. At this moment, we're just simply loosening it off. And then we also need to remove the 3 13mm bolts that are up here. These ones hopefully aren't as tight. Get on this one. There we go, that wasn't too bad. We are going to be removing those ones all the way. So that's the first one. And the other two, I think, yep, the other two I'm going to need a spanner for. So we'll grab a spanner. There we go, that one's cracked loose now. So I'll completely remove those in just a second. And then the only other thing we need to do, now that that's loose as well, is we need to remove that. So I'm just going to crack everything loose now. This one is pretty tight. Cool. So now I'm just going to work on removing these 3 up here. So I've removed the 3 13mm up there, so I drop that down, take out this bolt just here, and then you literally just wiggle that out. So there's the piece we're replacing with the Mountune bit. This is the actual torque mount, or dog bone mount, or roll restrictor, whatever you guys want to call it. And we'll put this on the bench compared to the new one and show you guys while we're swapping this out. So now that we've unbolted the factory dog bone mount out, I'll show you exactly why we're replacing this. So as you can see, here's our factory unit right here, and this is the Mountune one that we're replacing it with. So as you guys can see on the factory one, it is a rubber unit, and there is gaps in between it, and what that allows for is flex. So as you can see when I move it, there's flex, right? And you can actually see here, this one's worn, so there are crack marks starting to form on the edges from just all the use over the years. So the reason that we need to replace this is every time you launch the car or change through gears and stuff like that, this is obviously going to be flexing, whereas when we take a look at the replacement one, that's a solid piece of polyurethane, if I go ahead and grab a screwdriver and put that in there, like even if I pry on that, that's not going anywhere, that's super solid. Versus this. See the massive difference there. So that is why we're going ahead and replacing this. So all we have to do now is swap out this one, literally just remove that 19mm bolt, replace it with this one, comes with a new bolt as well. And it is the Mountune logo down, so it goes this way onto there. So we'll go ahead and do that now. So this new one's a lot tighter now, and I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle getting it in. We'll just try wiggle her in there. I might end up having to remove this part and hitting it in with a hammer. But it'd be nice if I don't. Oh, there we go. Sweet as. Okay, so now that that's in, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find the damn bolt for it. So now that that's in, don't know if we're in all the way. Oh, we've actually gone past now. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that one. Now, we'll see if we can get these 13mm in. So just lift that up like that. I'm just going to have to push my gearbox forward so I can thread that in very nicely by hand. These threads are definitely ones that you want to make sure you're putting in by hand and they're going in nice and smooth, because if you mess up a thread onto the gearbox casing, it's going to be quite difficult to replace or repair. So get that one in, try put this top one in, going in quite nice as well by hand. So once I've got this last bolt in, it's time to torque up. So torque specs. These three 13mm bolts that I'm putting in now are all torqued to 48 Newton meters. Then this 15mm back here is 80 Newton meters, and the big 19mm bolt that goes through is 85 Newton meters. So I'll just finish threading this in by hand. I'll grab my torque wrench and torque, make sure it's all nice and lined up, and then we'll take it for a test drive. Cool, so that is the last bolt now torqued. So it's all done. Give it a bit of a clean up, but it doesn't really need it really. Definitely looks a lot cooler under here now. I love stuff like this. Mounts definitely make a big difference on cars. So we'll get a few after shots and take it for a drive and see if we notice any difference. So just finished up now, changed my clothes so we're not getting the interior all dirty, but we're just going to take it out for a drive now. I should even notice a difference just on startup, because it should be just a whole lot stiffer in general. So we'll go ahead and start it up, let the fuel pump prime. Yeah, so the engine, as I started up and changed gears and stuff, is going to rock back and forth. So even on startup now, oh wow, yep, straight away. Yeah, the whole car is just that bit stiffer, and I can feel a bit of vibration as well. So this will increase the vibrations felt through the car, but straight away then, that's definitely a lot stiffer than the car normally is. So hop in with me and we'll go for a drive. So we're out in the Focus now. All I've done is pull out the end of my road, and honestly, completely changes the way the car feels. So the whole car, at idle especially, is way stiffer. You can feel it through the pedals and the steering wheel and everything. And you especially notice the extra stiffness. Like just then when I went over a bit of a bump, you can feel the whole thing's just a bit stiffer. But mainly the bite point of the clutch. The bite point of the clutch now just feels so much stiffer than it did before. And the whole car as a general just feels like it's so much more connected and so much tighter. When I did my rear sway bar, which there's a video to that, I'll link in the description, I had a similar feeling. The car felt a lot stiffer on the rear, but now like it honestly feels like literally just under here it's super stiff. The gear changes feel a lot nicer now. So I'm really looking forward to when we get this car back on the drag strip, back on a track day, and we can proper tell the difference on how the car feels. So if you guys liked this video and enjoyed it, make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave some comments, let me know what I should do next, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.